earwax, infected debris discharged from the ear. We have a client here, quite an elderly client, and there's a reason why I'm specifying that, and that will become more apparent as the video comes along. They attended with bilateral occluding earwax and also a lot of dead skin. Now, you find a lot of elderly patients do actually have a lot of dead keratin, dead skin, more so than younger patients. Their ear canal becomes a lot drier, the skin becomes a lot drier, and that skin, it doesn't migrate out of the ear as well as it does for younger patients. The ear canal itself, you can always compare it to a snake skin. So if the skin in the ear canal just shedded, it will just collect within the ear canal, causing an occlusion or blockage. Therefore, the ear is quite unique. The skin that coats the ear canal, as it sheds, it's got the unique properties of migrating outwards out of the ear. So it's almost self-cleaning, self-cleansing. I always compare it to a conveyor belt. So the skin obviously secreted, it sheds, and then it migrates outwards, and then you've got another layer of skin. And that's evolutionary trait. So if the skin didn't have the property and the unique ability to migrate out of the ear naturally, people will just be getting constantly blocked ears full of dead keratin skin, and that skin can also then get infected and cause kind of serious issues within the ear canal. It can cause erosion of the ear canal. It can lead to keratosis obturans. It can also possibly lead to canal cholesteatoma, which is quite rare. So just a bit of trivial knowledge for you. And you can see we've got this wax out, and attached to the wax you've got this keratin, this kind of dead skin that's adhered both to the ear canal and also the earwax. And I'm just trying to get a nice grip there, suction grip with the Zolver suction probe. And you can see the wax is coming out quite easily here. The wax is also slightly drier. You can see there it's just hanging out, and you can see a tail of skin there, and there's a bit of skin earlier on whilst I was giving a talk on the anatomy of the ear and the function of the skin. So at this stage the procedure's done. You can see the eardrum slightly dull, there's no light reflex, but again that's another trait with elderly patients. The eardrum's less translucent and it's more opaque. You don't sometimes get light reflex. It doesn't mean anything's wrong with their hearing. And here what I'm doing, I'm just trying to remove some of this surface wax and dead skin. I kind of possibly, well, you could be forgiven to leave this because it's not causing the patient any problems, but knowing the patient has got a problem with dead skin migrating out of the ear naturally, I decided to try and remove this for the patient. I was just being very careful because, as you're probably aware through watching some of my videos, there's a nerve at the base of the ear canal called the Arnold's nerve, and if you stimulate that by making contact with the canal wall, it can elicit a gag reflex, and obviously due to COVID-19, the last thing we want is people coughing. So I did advise the patient, if they did feel that they're going to cough, just to let me know, we can stop the procedure. The patient was fine, there's no gag reflex being elicited. So I'm just using a fine end gauge there, and I just loosened some of this surface dead skin and wax. Just gone with some forceps, some crocodile forceps. These are the 5mm fine jaw forceps. And I'm just trying to get a grip there and peeling this off. You can see there's still a lot of dead skin there, just coating the whole circumference, the diameter of the ear canal. I think I'm just going to go in with forceps again, and after this I will be using a fine end gauge again, just to peel some of this skin off. It is quite tightly adhered. You can just see there. Problem with forceps sometimes, you can if it's a crusty, really dry, crusty piece of skin, as soon as you get a grip, it just peels off in one go. It will almost look like a snake skin. It will come out in the shape of the ear canal. But it doesn't always happen, so a fine end gauge is really good. If you use a standard Zolver suction probe, you can run the risk of the skin clarinetting. So when the skin clarinets, it's just flapping at the entrance of the Zolver suction probe, and it elicits a very loud, almost deafening high frequency squeal. So I tend to use a fine end to remove dead skin because you don't get that clarinetting as much. So you can see I loosened that there, used the forceps to remove the large piece of dead skin. So we're now onto the patient's right ear. You can see there again wax, but also dead keratin. The keratin's actually coating the wax. It's the glossy view you're getting, and that's called the keratin. So large chunk there, and you can see a big piece of keratin there. And with keratin, as it sheds, it kind of generally takes the shape and form of a ribbon, and you'll see that in one of the still images at the end of the procedure. You will see the ribbon formation of dead skin. So the ear canal is completely clear, slight light reflexivity of the eardrum, but again duller than it would be for a younger patient. Nonetheless, as I said, it's nothing to be concerned about. Again, just trying to remove this skin, and here I'm just trying to kind of attach the suction probe onto the skin and kind of tear it. So I'm kind of coming back upon myself as opposed to going forwards. When you're going forwards, you're peeling it. And again, I just been a bit cautious about the gag reflex. So I was just trying to kind of almost cut the dead skin by coming forwards with the Zollner suction probe. Bit of dead skin just at the base, just literally past the entrance of the ear canal. There's a few cilia there, a bit of hair, which is slightly obscuring the view, and you do get a light reflex. And even with skin, when you shine the endoscope towards skin, it does reflect the light back, so you get a white glare. Again, I'm just trying to literally just almost cut this dead skin, and just using the forceps, and they got a bit blurry, the view. The tip of the endoscope was making contact with the cilia, so the cilia was slightly greasy, so it does also give a glare. And that's the eardrum, and that's the still image of the skin. You can see the ribbon effect. It's almost like a helix, almost like a piece of DNA strand there. You're getting that double helix appearance to it. That's the whole contents of both ears. You can see the instruments we're using. Those two little rubber tips, the blue and green, that's what I use for tympanometry, because the eardrum is slightly dull and opaque. Sometimes that could be caused by middle ear effusion, so some fluid buildup behind the eardrum. So I did a pressure test just to ensure there's no fluid, and there wasn't with this client. I hope you enjoyed that procedure, guys. If you're watching on YouTube and it's your first time, please do subscribe to my channel and select the bell icon so you'll get notified as and when I upload new videos. Similarly, if you're watching on Facebook, please do follow the page. Please feel free to like the video as well, leave a comment and share. Have a fantastic weekend, guys. I'm in the clinic tomorrow for a couple of hours, and also Sunday.